All right, welcome everyone. Hey, TomTom34, bravo, Mr. Bravo, TomTom34, bravo. What up, my friend? Been a while. Hello, folks. He says, hello, Shell. Good morning, good afternoon. No, it's evening somewhere, but nowhere in the continental United States. So that's all that matters. Anyways, so interesting developments in the last day. So as you guys know, if you follow me on Twitter, and if you don't, you have no idea what I'm talking about half the time. So I don't know why you even watch my stuff, because everything I do is pretty much on Twitter. I challenged YouTuber Jaclyn Glenn to a debate or a discussion on her constant misinformation about atheism. Because as you guys know, she's just parroting what she hears on social media platforms. Matter of fact, she has verbatim says the exact same thing as like 20 other YouTubers that I've listened to. She's even went on various podcasts to say the exact same things. And it's just literally word for word parroting, as if she has no comprehension of the actual subject matter. I have nothing against Jaclyn Glenn at all. I just don't think she has absolutely any clue about atheism. She's never done any kind of academic reading on it. As far as I know, she's never read a paper in her life about atheism. I don't know what she knows about atheism, because she doesn't seem to know anything about atheism. And I'm talking about actual academic atheism in the philosophical sense. If you read if you go to a course on the subject, we take Intro to Philosophy of Religion, or any subject matter relating to philosophy, then you're probably going to learn some things about atheism, especially, propositional things like, does God exist or not, right? Because when you get into philosophy, you're going to get into ontology, you're going to get into, hang on one second. Okay. You're going to learn the things about propositional logic. You're going to learn that there's a proposition God exists, and there's going to be the negation of that. God does not exist. And of course, atheism, as we know, is the proposition that theism is false, the belief that there is no God. That's how it is in academic as standard, as in normative, as in the usual understanding. Matter of fact, 99% of every paper I ever read uses that usage. So for Jaclyn to say that atheism is only one thing is automatically by fiat wrong. And so she's, out there saying that atheism is not a belief, atheism is not a religion, which is not. Obviously, atheism is not a religion, but atheism is a belief. And she says it's not a belief system, throwing that word system like it makes a difference. Look, a system can have one element. In factually speaking, if you look at a logically consistent system, if it has a single premise, it's logically consistent. Why? Because there's no contradictions. A logically inconsistent system is any system where the premises cannot all be true at the same time. If you have one premise, there's no contradiction. So you cannot have an inconsistent system for one premise. And the premise is, in this case, there is no God. So it is a belief. Whether you want to call it a system or not is, to me, irrelevant. In mathematics, it is a system, because a single solitary element in a set or a premise is a system. But that's not what we're going to be talking about right now. What I'm going to be talking about is the fact that I left her a message on her video. So she did a video called 10 Shocking Myths About Atheism Debunked. She has 790,000 subscribers. And I'm sorry, I'm going to call her out on this. You have an obligation to your audience to put out the best possible information about a subject matter, whether it be biology, cosmology, evolutionary theory, anything that you're talking about. You should at least put out the best information you can. And if you're corrected on it, note that you made an error and fix it. People do that to me all the time. The other day, as things developed on the presidential attempted assassination, there was a lot of misinformation going around. We were correcting it in real time. I put out misinformation on Twitter that was just repeated, and I did the same thing. A friend of mine called me out on it that I respect, a PhD in philosophy, and I took it down. And I told people this was misinformation. Because it's kind of hard to vet things in real time as it's going on. I get this. But she's had, a decade to fix her misinformation? I wrote her an email in 2017 about this, right? And so she seems to have no indication to want to fix her misinformation. John says, well, there's our logical conclusion from a single premise, so calling a system is redundant. Well, it's still a system, right? A system is just a set of something, right? A set of elements or a set of premises are a system. A set can have one element to it. A system can have, there are one element systems. So would you call atheism a belief system? Sure, I don't care. Whatever. That's not incorrect mathematically, but it definitely is a belief in academic usages, right? In the normal understanding of the term. In fact, many other countries, that's just in the colloquial speak. When somebody says they're an atheist, it's just understood in the general parlance that is a person who believes there's no God. America is distinct from that. We're the only ones that seem to have this weird thing to make atheism merely a lack of belief, which is something that only came about in 1972 from Anthony Fleur's paper, The Presumption of Atheism, which my paper thoroughly rebuts. In fact, I put my paper on Facebook many times and asked people to finally review it. I've had Dr. William Pye review it. He said it was perfect. He found no logical errors. It was valid. It was sound. But I got into a kerfluffle of some sort with somebody on a Facebook group, on an atheist Facebook group. And they said, okay, I'll review your paper. And I'm like, you probably won't even get past the abstract, right? Because historically, people don't even get past the abstract. They have no idea what I'm talking about because they don't understand my argument. And if I told most people that my argument is that if you take the subalternation from the S2 position to the not S2 position, and you take that as the complete negative distix, and you add the neuter S term of the conjunction of the not S2 and the not S1 term, then that subsumes that. And so you've lost the middle ground there, which is dishonest. Most people are not going to know what I'm talking about. And so if you think that you've sailed my paper and you don't know what I just said, you didn't. So this guy not only understood the paper because he has a degree in philosophy, he did a peer review. He put it on Academic EDU, and he actually agreed with the paper. He actually said straight out, McRae's paper is good. It's solid. It's logically valid. It's sound. He saw no substantive errors. He had some minor critiques like anybody would do. But he wrote a peer review paper. I mean, obviously it's not true peer review, but as somebody who has a degree in philosophy, he did a actual critical review of my paper and found no substantive errors. He actually said it was a solid paper, which has been what I've been asking people to do for how long, John? How long have people, be honest and not attack me personally, but actually attack my argument? So he actually understood my paper. And you know what I did? I blocked him forever. I'll never speak to him again. No, just kidding. I actually retracted my comment. I actually publicly in the Facebook group said, I retract my comment about such and such person. They did understand my paper. I stand corrected and I retract my claims about him. That's what you do when you're an adult. That's what you do. And he was thankful for that. And we've just, moved past that. We haven't been personally attacking each other, so to speak. Although he was personally attacking me way more than I was attacking him. But, I did criticize him and said you probably wouldn't even understand the abstract based upon my, historical past with atheist YouTubers and social media people. However, this is what I wrote on her. I know I went off topic there, but this is what I wrote. I said, Jaclyn, hopefully you guys are going to read this. I know it's kind of small. Let me move things around a little bit. I said, Jaclyn, you've been wrong about the academic understanding of atheism for years. Atheism, academia, and philosophy is held as standard as the belief there is no God. That's a fact. What do they say? Feelings don't care about your facts, or facts don't care about your feelings, right? Jaclyn, who is never going to watch this, even though I'm telling her she's being impersonated, that you have an obligation to put out the correct information. And Jaclyn I've never seen her actually discuss this with anybody that can show that she's wrong. She only goes on podcasts. She only goes on channels that agree with her. And I find that to be myself personally morally detestable because I go on channels all the time that don't agree with me. I go on channels all the time that I don't agree with them. I'm somebody who's a non-believer. I do not believe in God, right? I do not believe in God. I have my own personal issues with religion, and I do not believe in God, although I'm not an anti-theist. But I believe basically the freedom to believe what you want. If you want to be a Christian, be my guest, right? I don't attack people that are Christian. I only go after people that are putting out misinformation about science and philosophy. That's what I do, right? So there's a big difference there. Everybody has a right to their individual beliefs. Absolutely, right? But when you're a YouTuber with that kind of size, you can absolutely have your beliefs. But when you're putting out misinformation about a specific topic and you will not confront the people that can show you're wrong, I think that is just morally detestable. I do. I think because at that point, you're not caring about the facts. You're only caring about that people are going to watch your video and you're going to get some popularity out of it. And that's something that I'll never do. I don't make content just to make content. I don't put out misinformation and call people out like Jaclyn Glenn for putting out misinformation just for content. I don't get a lot of views on these things. Okay. So it's not for that. It is, I am correct. I can demonstrate that I'm correct. I am self-assured that I'm correct because I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm pretty well read on the subject matter. And I can show that she's incorrect by facts, evidence, peer review, and even logic. Because, I mean, let's be honest. And I'm not trying to degrade Jaclyn at all. I mean, she's made a name for herself. She's very popular. A lot of people like her content. And I think that's exceptional. Right. So I think it's wonderful that she has been able to do this and make a living out of it. I have no issue with that. But if you're going to make a living on something, you have an obligation to put out the correct information. Correct? Oh, wow. I should have checked out your Twitter. I'd rather my Twitter a little bit. It looks like I'm living in a rock. Yeah, like I said, look, if people don't follow me on Twitter, you have no idea what's going on half the time. Right? You really don't. So anyways, I say, I publicly challenge you to a formal debate, to formally debate me on this subject or discussion. You are absolutely wrong about agnosticism and Gnosticism. You are grossly wrong in just about everything you say in the first myth. I didn't even get past the first myth. I saw the second one dealing with moral, and maybe I'll talk about that next. Maybe I'll just go through each one of these myths. And you know what? I probably agree with her on the other 8 or 9. I probably do. But you know what? I didn't even finish watching it. I only got like to here. Like somewhere around here, like the first myth. I didn't even go past that. It's only an 11-minute video. I'm sorry. I couldn't get past the first myth. I'm not even joking here. I didn't watch anything else other than that. I just saw I started going into like moral or something. And I'm like, okay, maybe I'll do that next. Because I don't know what she says about moral theory, but I think maybe she may make mistakes there too. I don't know. But we'll do a separate video on that. But I say, you have a sizable platform and you're still parroting the same information that you always have. It is still as wrong as it always was. I want to sincerely and openly challenge you to defend your claims in fair public debate on Trinity Radio with Dr. Braxton Hunter moderating and hosting. That's why I actually edited this, right? I actually forgot a T in Braxton's name. Braxton Hunter, nice guy, very nice guy. I've been on his channel, Trinity Radio, which is a YouTube channel with him and Dr. Pritchett. And it was Dr. Pritchett that actually found an error in my paper about a year ago. He found a logical error. Well, no, I'm sorry. He didn't find a logical error. He found just a word that should have been a different word. That's it. I used the word subalternation and it should have been some contrary. And here's the funniest thing. He understood the paper well enough to do that. Most people are not going to know the difference between a subalternation and a subcontrary, but he did. And you know what I did? I blocked him and never talked to him again and cursed him for 7 generations. No, just kidding. I thanked him. I corrected it. And then we had the show because he actually discovered it just before we went on Trinity Radio. So if you want to go find me in my interview on Trinity Radio with Dr. Braxton Hunter, it's still up. I did make one minor error in that and I corrected it and I did put it in the comment section. So I did make a minor mistake that I did correct that nobody even caught, but I did. And I was like, no, I made a mistake and I have to correct that because when you're live, yeah, it's hard when you're going over, an argument to constantly pay attention to everything going on in the live chat and everything. And so people do make mistakes. So the whole thing is to fix them, right? It was just a simple mistake that I made. It wasn't exceptional error. It's just I said something incorrect, but I knew that I said it incorrect. So I fixed it, right? That's what you do. But Dr. Braxton Hunter wants to have me on again and have somebody debate me on my paper or other subjects or whatever, but nobody has stepped up to do it. No atheist has stepped up to do it. The only person who's stepped up to do it so far, and I keep asking for it, but he won't follow through with it, is Andrew Wilson from the Whatever podcast and the Crucible. For some reason, I actually get along with the guy. I don't know why. We have nothing in common. I'm telling you right now, Andrew Wilson and I have absolutely nothing in common. But for some reason, I like his content. Don't judge me, okay? I don't know what the hell it is. You don't have to agree with somebody to like their content, okay? You just don't. But I happen to like his content. It's weird because I don't agree with him. But I have nothing personal at all against Andrew Wilson. I just happen to like the way he goes about stuff is just. I mean, the guy is just an amazing debater. He really actually is, straight up. But he wouldn't tell me what he thought was wrong with my paper, which I thought was kind of odd. But he's a Christian, and he's the only one that would even think about debating me on it. But he didn't, yeah, he's probably too busy, and you like his content too. So I mean, I'm not the only one, right? Like I said, you don't have to like somebody. I mean, you don't have to agree with somebody to like their content, right? And he's always been personable with me. And so like I said, I give what I get. He's cool. Go watch his stuff. I'm telling you. And again, you don't have to agree with him. Just go watch his stuff and tell him you don't agree with him and, have a conversation with him. And again, sometimes I don't even agree with his debating stuff. I think he maybe gets some things wrong. I don't know. But what I like about Andrew Wilson is that if you think he's wrong on something in a live discussion, like when I've watched the whatever podcast, he'll engage you on it. I respect that. I respect that a lot. I really do. Right. So anyways, this is where we're going to get to on this. So I got a response 21 hours ago from Telegram, the Jaclyn Glenn. I'll be expecting your message. The problem with this is that when somebody uses Telegram, they're setting you up. They're setting you up because this is not her actual account. This account was made on July 14th, 2024. And you can go check it out yourself. I think that if, can I go to channel? No, I can't go to channel, but I can't go to channel. Right here, one subscriber made July 14th, 2024, which was 2 days ago, right after I said, I made this. Hang on. So this is clearly a fake account. I mean, obviously she didn't respond to me on her main account. She wouldn't make a new account just to respond to me for Telegram. This was somebody who was faking being her. So Jaclyn Glenn is being impersonated by someone. I did tag her on Twitter. I got no response. I can't DM her on Twitter because her DMs are not open. I still have her email, but she never responded to me the first time when I emailed her. So her email may not even work any longer. But if anybody does know Jaclyn, you might want to let her know that somebody is actively impersonating her. Okay. So Zach says, hi there. Oh, wait, not the wrong one. Sorry. He says, I think Andrew is incredibly wrong on so many things, as do I. But many people just get offended without understanding his other perspective. Yeah, exactly. Right. I don't agree with it. Look, the way Andrew, his whole shtick on Christianity and patriarchy and women being subservient and all this other stuff. Yeah, of course, I absolutely disagree. I'm sorry, I don't agree with him. Sorry, I absolutely disagree with the guy. I don't, because I'm not Christian. I don't look at the world through a Christian worldview where you have, God, Jesus, and then you have the head of the household as this patriarch, and anybody in that family, including their wife, is subservient to the husband. I don't agree with that. That's not my view at all, right? It's Orthodox. Yeah, Tom, it's Orthodox Christianity, correct. I'm not an Orthodox Christian. And what I like about Andrew is that he would recognize that, right? He would not expect me as an non-Orthodox Christian, as somebody who's not even Christian, to agree with him by fiat, right? I don't think Andrew at all would say, hey, Steve, you're silly for not agreeing with me. He'd be like, no, I think that, I understand you're not the same beliefs as me, so I understand your position. He might try to convince me, right? And he has every right to. He might try to say, look, let me try to convert you to Orthodox Christianity. Okay, that's fine, whatever. If you want to get into that conversation, which I have really no interest in. But I don't think for a second he thinks that anybody who's a non-Orthodox Christian is going to have the same exact views on relationships with wives that he does, right? I don't remember in Nadia Yvette's Hangouts meeting many Orthodox Christians at all. I don't remember that many either. There was what I saw most in Nadia's Hangouts, and Nadia was just on the channel the other day, not too long ago. And this is going back a lot of years. If people don't know, Nadia Yvette Chambers was the first Hangout that I ever was on in YouTube. She literally, broke my YouTube cherry. And so we go way back on that. And so when I saw a lot of Christians in there, Tom, they were mostly Calvinist. There was a lot of Calvinists. There was a lot of the Matt Slick and Andrew Wilson group, more than anything I ever saw. And that's when I got involved with Matt Slick, and I went on his show. I went on Andrew Wilson's show. Not Andrew Wilson's show. I went on what is his name? What was the guy? There was Bible thumping Wingnut, and then there was that other guy that I couldn't stand. He was putting out misinformation about science. And we called him out on the Non Sequitur show. And he just kind of, I think, fell off the planet. I don't know whatever happened to him. But he was one of the Matt Slick fans. Do you guys remember his name? Because I remember going on his show, and he introduced me as something along the lines of well-known agnostic Steve McRae. That was his words. Well-known agnostic Steve McRae. What was his name? Tom. It escapes me. Oh my goodness. Come on. I think it was Andrew too, wasn't it? Andrew something. Oh man. I'm pretty sure it was Andrew, but I don't remember. Let me see if I can find this. Andrew Rappaport. That was his name. Andrew Rappaport. All right. And yeah, if you guys saw, I was looking for new headphones, by the way. So if anybody wants to help, my headphones broke. They literally, these were good headphones. They literally broke. So if anybody wants to like become a Patreon member or member of the channel, I do need to buy new headphones. People remember I had tape headphones. I'm not even joking. I super glued these. I literally super glued these. I see here. Wait, hang on. Because I'm frugal as hell, right? I really am. And, you know, I don't make much off YouTube. So but let me show you. 1 second here. But anyways, while I'm doing that, oh my goodness, I got to update so much stuff, man. I never want to run half this stuff. How do I fix that? Let me do something real quick. Settings. All right, sorry about that. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I know. I'm sorry. That was weird. I have no idea. I know my camera's connected. That's weird. But anyways, yeah. So I'm back. I was trying to set this up here, but I want to show you. I said I'm not even joking about my damn headphones. I literally had to super glue them, and it's just like literally falling apart. So I do need to get better headphones because these are gonna like go out of me anytime. But if you want to help out the channel, there you go. So I appreciate it. Let's see here. There we go. So let me present this again. 1 sec. But anyways, long story short, that's where I'm at. Somebody is impersonating Jaclyn Glenn. They wanted me to obviously connect to them on Telegram, thinking that was Jaclyn Glenn. Watch out for this kind of stuff. If you see people using Telegram like this, that's not the right person. You're being scammed, right? So I just want to put that out there that I have challenged Jaclyn Glenn to a debate. She has not responded. I did think she did respond. I put it on because I just saw this, right? I saw some response and I didn't even think twice about it. So that was my own fault. So yes, whoever did this, they got me too. And I put it out on Twitter that Jaclyn responded. I deleted that. But then I was looking at this, I'm like, something's not right about this, right? And then I saw that it was from July 14th. And so this is let you guys to know that people do this stuff. But like I said, somebody is impersonating Jaclyn Glenn, and she needs to be made aware of that because that's just BS. I don't expect Jaclyn to ever actually debate me on this or even discuss it with me. I don't have any expectations of that whatsoever. But I will continue to call her out for putting out misinformation about atheism, a subject that I have a lot of respect for. As people know, I do lean toward that. I'm not an atheist. I'm not a theist. I am an agnostic, Jaclyn Glenn. Merely not having a God belief is not sufficient to determine if somebody's atheist. That is a fact. That is an absolute fact. That's English, that's linguistics, that's logic, that's epistemology, that's philosophy. If I just told you I don't believe, there is no way you can logically deduce from first principles that I'm an atheist. I'm sorry, you can't. You're just making up stuff. I have proven that ad nauseum. I've also demonstrated thoroughly how agnosticism is understood in modern contemporary analytical philosophy. It has nothing to do with knowledge when talking about the ontological proposition of God. And for you to think that it does is disinformation. It's outright disinformation. If Jaclyn Glenn has not read a single paper on philosophy, and I've read scores of them, maybe 100, 200 papers I've read on this particular subject, a lot. If it says the word atheist in it, I have probably read that paper. Okay? And then I wrote my own, which is in the top 1% of academic EDU right now. Top 1%. It has 4,000 views, which for a paper is remarkable. Most papers get about 200 views. Mine has 4,000 views. It has been reviewed by Dr. William Pye, who is a PhD in mathematics, thoroughly using Ginsler logic, showing that it is valid and sound. It was reviewed the other day by somebody who has a degree in philosophy that did a peer review on it, level, thoroughly. And he did a good job. The guy didn't like me. He thought my personality sucked, which is fine. You can think anything you want of my personality. But I kept telling the guy, look, I don't like tone policing. I don't care what you think about me personally, because after 10 years of dealing with people, especially like Jaclyn Glenn, putting out misinformation, it's frustrating. I go, just critique the argument. If you think I'm wrong, show me. He's like, well, give me your paper. Okay, here. I give him my paper out to how many thousands of people? He did an actual review of it. And his finding was it was a solid paper. He said it could contribute to the discourse on philosophy. It could contribute to philosophy because it thoroughly refutes Antony Flou's paper on the presumption of atheism that he wrote in 1974. He had an entreaty to say he wanted atheism to be thought of in the negative case, as in merely lack of belief. That didn't come around until 1972. Atheism, for the last 400 years in academia, has always had a positive epistemic status as sufficiency conditions. That has not changed. That is not going to change in any near future or probably ever. There's reasons for this, reasons that go beyond what Jaclyn seems to understand about the subject matter. So anyways, that's all I've got on this. I want to keep it short. So it's going to be under 30 minutes. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. I will try to email her, but I don't know what to do because she's not going to respond to me. Hi, JJ. I saw you were live and wanted to stop in and say, hey, hello. Thank you, JJ. Always a pleasure to have you around. And I hope that you and everybody else over on that on the other sides of the YouTube doing commentary stuff are doing great. My roommate just got home. She had a birthday yesterday. So I'm going to log off here. I wanted to keep this down a half hour. I'm just chilling. But I wanted to get this out, and I'm tired. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. If you guys got comments, let me know. I do want Jaclyn to know that she's being impersonated, though. So if anybody can let her know or something, because she's not going to be responding to me. So with that, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys later. Peace. Oh.